In the constantly changing world of fundability, the big question is this: how are entrepreneurs and real estate investors like us, ones who want to grow our businesses and who are tired of paying for really expensive alternative lending, how do we tap into the most inexpensive money available and do it without the hassle of typical borrowing? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. Welcome to the Get Fundable podcast with your host, Merrill Chandler.
Welcome back, everybody. Merrill Chandler with your host of the Get Fundable podcast. Okay, this episode, it's time for another heart-to-heart. So when we come back, you and I are going to be talking about my several experiences where my limitations created new opportunities and where new opportunities created new limitations. Can't wait to share the next few minutes with you. I'll see you in just a second. Hey, everybody, Merrill Chandler. I am here to talk to you, have a little heart-to-heart. A lot of things have been going on since this whole COVID-19 started, and kind of that looming experience of a recession that's kind of out there in the wings, right? That unemployment and job shutdowns and our entire infrastructure is shifting. Everybody's talking about a new normal. There's a massive degree of uncertainty. So here's where I speak about it every once in a while, but the very first episode here, we're in the 80s or the 90s in episodes, and I have not spoken about my time in federal prison. And I speak about it in my book, The New F Word. The beginning of every chapter has, let's see if you can even see it. The beginning of every chapter, there is there's a paragraph at the top that kind of takes you through what my experience was, but it's what my experience was as it applied to fundability. That's what's been my passion, my pet project. It was kind of the nuts and bolts of my my life, and it was wonderful to talk about and plan and dream of and bring out into the world. That period also was my time in prison was very instrumental in helping me understand, helping me see my blind spots, right? I've spoken earlier in a previous episode that the only people who have a perfectly clear 20/20 vision of our blind spots is the person sitting across from us, right? So my whole life, I'd been given feedback. I'm kind of a bull in a china shop. Sometimes I'd been shamed, and other times I'd been celebrated for just being this passionate go-getter, right? When I got married, when I got married years ago, my mom, we're in the line, right? Bride and groom, we're standing together, and people are coming through the line. My mom comes through the line. She takes my former wife's hand in her hand, and leans up and kisses her on the cheek, and then pats her hand and says, "He's all yours now." Right? It was like the formal handoff of having to be a Chandler handler, right? To wrangle my stupidity and my mad genius that I talk about in the dedication of my book. So here's the thing. As we talk about in the beginning, in the introduction, opportunities and limitations come in pairs. Ask any member of my team. They are ecstatic, and some have been here the better part of 10 years with me, just forging. And there are times that they are just so angry and are just so frustrated because what my genius brings also brings this whole truckload of foibles, of weaknesses, of things that I don't do well, that anybody would say, you're a genius here, why can't you be a sixth grader even over here? And some things I just miss. I'm not I don't know what it is. Don't have those. Don't have the genes to be, and I'm not talking about the blue jeans. I don't have the genes to be this thing over here, but I've got 100-fold. I've got mine and 40 other people's genes to do the things that are easy for me. That's a gift for me. That's the opportunity to be brilliant at what I'm brilliant at. And I'm not alone in this. You know this. How many times have you been chided? You've been shamed. You've been put down. You've been minimized. You've been discounted for some things, and yet you're brilliant or beautiful or spectacular in others, right? So on a Facebook Live I did a while back, I talked about opportunities and limitations. That with every new opportunity comes an equal limitation. Well, I also heard somebody came up with the Napoleon Hill actually had that same quote. Napoleon Hill said something to the effect that for every heartache, every tragedy, every challenge that we face, there is an equal or greater opportunity that comes with it, right? And so, and man, Napoleon Hill's been inspiration. His books, his philosophy guided me since I was a young man. And I frame it that they come in pairs because we cannot do one without the other. We live in a dualistic world, a binary world. Wherever you up, there's a down. Wherever the left, there's a right. Everything that we do, there are opposites to it. But there's not opposites. Everything has its opposite, but they are designed to support us. You guys, if we know how to surf, and we're good at surfing, then we will love waves, right? But if we don't know how to surf, if we don't even know how to swim, we go out there and a 6-footer, a 10-footer comes to us, we may die because we're unprepared. So when it comes to this opposition, right, this dualistic experience we're having, it's no more clear than in the fact with our prosperity periods and our recessions, right? Prosperity, recession, and they've been coming. If you look at them in various levels, they've been coming almost every 10 years. I talked about in 1991. We were coming 86 to 91. There was just a devastating crash in real estate, and started building back up, built all the way back up. Then there was a .com loss in 2000, right? 8, 9, 10 years, give or take, depending what you're calling the line in the sand, where it starts and stops. After the .com, we have 2008. Right? And then 2009 and 10 was where it was horrible, but 2008 credit markets froze, crash and burn in the indexes, in the markets, and we're back down. And they always go up, we down, some correction, then it goes higher, and then a correction, and higher, and another correction. Every 10-ish years, here we are. We're walking into 2020, like 6 weeks, 8 weeks after 2020 starts. It wasn't market influences. It wasn't anything out there. It was a pandemic, a health crisis that starts somewhere in the world. It doesn't even matter where. And it just blazed through and has taken over nearly every country and every state. So here we are, 10 years. And once again, we are in the middle of what a recession is looming. It could be a depression, because we just had another big spike in over the course of 6 weeks. We're over 25 million unemployed and climbing. We're on our way to the greatest unemployment rate of all time, and there's no end in sight. So, but the thing that I want to share is that for the depth of despair that I felt when I was in prison, I've also built an entire lifetime. That was 20 years ago. I was arrested August 31st, 2000. And here I am just a few months away from August 31st, 2020. That was 20 years ago. And when I was in prison, in the darkest night of my soul, sprang this light, this opportunity, this vision of doing something that mattered to the people that I loved. And I taught them this, and they're like, holy hell, Merrill, this is awesome. And it grew and grew and grew and grew. Now we have a freaking tribe of people who not just love it, but have implemented and are changing their lives and changing their children's lives. We have people buying literally boxes and boxes of my book so that their children can read it, so that their friends and family can at least understand that the game that's being played, we could be professional players of it. So my darkest night turned into my brightest light. I get to illuminate. So there was a personal development training I went to years ago, and it was awesome. It was life-changing. Definitely a game changer about focusing my vision, because I came out of prison with knowing what I wanted, but how to focus it, how to develop it, and how to create it into the real world, that took some honing. I have advisors too. I have people who craft my soul, just like I hope I'm crafting, if nothing else, your finances and your fundability. Some people, I let people work on me and help me with my blind spots and help me look at my soul. Well, we were working on a kind of a vision statement, right? What was the vision statement? And there was what is it that you do for the world? And I was looking at all the, I'm a metaphor guy. I was looking for all these different ways to describe it. And what it came down to was that my mission in life is to illuminate the path so that others have the fewest possible obstacles to their goal in whatever it is I'm teaching. If fundability, whether I'm teaching my success principles, whatever it is, I can't make somebody walk. I can't make you walk a path. I can cheerlead, but I have no power over you and your choices. But what I did know that I could do is I could shine a light. I could shine like 50,000 candle watt, because I was built to focus that much energy on whatever I did. I was here to focus my light to shine on a path that you might tread. So I'm here to illuminate the path to fundability, which is the path to self-awareness, which is the path to your version of success. Well, that light now gets to shine, and it's illuminating the path, and more people are finding their way to this path, and this path gets to take them to their dreams. Because in the world we live in, most of us, I'm not defining success by anybody's terms, but most of us have some sort of financial component that allows us our success, whatever our why is, whatever our end game is. And if I can illuminate your path, that's what I'm here to do. So my greatest darkness creates my greatest opportunity to shine. at least this illumination. Your deepest, darkest moments is where is birthed the change you will make for yourself and your loved ones in the world. It's in that dark place is where it happens. And that may be financially constructed. We have, I believe, first of all, we have rhythm to the markets. Count on it. 2030, just count on some sort of reset. And if you're wise now, you'll prepare then, and we'll just get better and better and better at being able to ride the wave of these markets. Every 10 years for last 40 years. So what is it that you have found is your darkest place? Where was it? Was it complete financial collapse? Was it a divorce or death of a loved one, or the loss of a child, or the rejection of someone who loved you? What's that dark place for you? Because I'm telling you, the seed, the light of your gift to the world is being born right there. It has for me. It has for every single person that I know personally, and it has from many clients who come to me, just sharing their stories. Because you know me, I'm here, and the greatest strength we can have is be vulnerable with each other. And ultimately, in a relationship, I talk about lenders and borrowers and everything, but somebody gets to go first, right? So I want you to know that I'm here. Ultimately, it's not about money. It's about what money can do for us in our goals, in our end game, in what it is we want for our lives, right? Some call it something pithy like time and money freedom. But some people really know that it's coaching their children's soccer teams or Pop Warner teams or whatever. It's that there is something that is driving you, and we're doing all this crazy stuff so that we get to do that beautiful thing. So I ask you, like I ask myself on a regular basis, does financial matters, is that a contributing factor for you being able to have the dark night of your soul? It sounds contrived and even manipulative, but what if the rhythms are here? What if the ups and the downs are here so that we can stay humble, stay focused, and stay clear that we're going to use the dark night of our soul to end that pressure, that recession, those losses of family or friends or money or whatever it is, to use those losses to birth the next greatest version of you. What if that is the creatrix, the womb of your next greatest version of yourself? I know it has been for me. And I know that I will never let go of the rhythms, because the rhythms keep me humble. The rhythms keep me clear, and the up and down of finances and life and opportunity and relationships and everything that you and I face every day, every week, every month, those rhythms can gut us, and they can actually be that pressure that creates the coal into the diamond of our next beautiful self. So do not fear the process of you becoming your next beautiful version. Do not fear the loss, even though it is freaking painful and ugly. Don't fear the loss. Don't resist that refiner's fire, to use the good book. Don't resist your evolution, because we have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful monster tsunami of a recession coming at us. Let it guide you and craft you and your soul so that you can be a better, more beautiful version of yourself, for you, for your loved ones, and for the world around you, because your message is just as important as mine. Your gifts just as big and bold and brash and beautiful as mine. So there you go. This is Merrill Chandler, your host of the Get Fundable podcast, your fellow traveler along this stupid, ugly, beautiful, magnificent road. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Get Fundable podcast. Please leave comments, because Merrill would love to read about your aha moments from this episode. And be sure to visit getfundable.com to read our blog, get important links, join our community, and much, much more, like ordering Merrill's tell-all book that is changing the world, The New F Word. And you gotta tell your friends about this podcast, because we want them to get fundable too.